Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be a parent's guide to teenage skincare. Some of you may wonder, and your teen may wonder, why some teenagers' skin looks great while others have issues. And we're going to talk about that today, as well as go through some routine options, product options, and talk about some tips that can work and maybe some things to eliminate as well that your teenager may be doing that could help their skin. Now, just because this is a parent's guide doesn't mean a teenager can't watch it. By all means, they can watch it, but because the parents are usually the ones that are going out and buying the products and maybe calling the dermatologist if that's what's needed, I just thought it was kind of necessary to do a parent's guide because there are tons of videos and articles out there geared towards teens, but there's not that many for parents. We're going to talk about when teenagers should keep their skincare simple versus when they have issues and need to maybe go a different route. I'm going to be talking about a bunch of different product options throughout this video, a bunch. And I'm going to mention some in the video, but I'm also going to have some in the description box. So I encourage you to check that description box because I may mention 2 or 3 per category as I go through the different categories, but there may be 10 in that category listed in the description box, because if I mention every possible product that would be a good option, this video would be 3 hours long. Thank you to Panoxyl for sponsoring this video, and with all that said, we can get into this. I have a lot of ground to cover. I have a lot of notes here. But first, if you enjoy everyday beauty made easy, things that you can apply to your everyday routine, your everyday life, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become part of the family, and we can go ahead and get into it. So for the most part, teenage skincare functions pretty optimally. It's beautiful. It's kind of what as adults we're striving to get our skin back to. That elasticity is perfect. The tone is even, all those good things until it's not acting perfectly. So something I learned a few years ago is that the oil glands that we're born with are basically inactive all through childhood and then are stimulated once puberty hits. So that's why a lot of these issues start. So it is important that you do talk to your teen. They're probably feeling very self-conscious about what's going on if they are having issues, and just make them understand that it's not anything that they're doing. It's not that they're dirty or gross or anything like that. It's just something that their body is genuinely going through due to hormones, due to their oil glands that are just now getting stimulated. And not every teen is going to have full out acne. They could just have small clogged pores, or they may have no issues at all. So the key is to balance the skin and the oil production and have everything working in this beautiful, harmonized fashion. That would be ideal. But what happens is that once this increased oil production starts happening, you get just this buildup that happens and these pores start to clog, and you get blackheads and pimples and things like that. And that's just no fun for anybody. Another thing that happens during puberty is that you start to produce more keratin. And what keratin is a protein that protects the upper layer of the skin, and it makes your skin thicker. So that contributes to the blocked pores as well. So about 85% of people, both boys and girls, from around 12 to their mid-20s experience problematic skin, and it often does continue into adulthood. So let your teen know they're not alone. The majority of teenagers experience some sort of skin issue. The key is to catching things once they start. If your teen starts getting oily skin or breakouts, letting them know that addressing it as soon as you can will help things down the line. You just don't want things to sit and build up and have a harder time treating it, because that can lead to scarring and just all kinds of things that are just going to be way, way worse than they would be if you just tackled it up front. And I know no teenager wants to focus on skincare. No teenager wants to eliminate things from their diet. It's just no fun. But the consequence is problematic skin. So it's kind of a catch-22. I know I and many people are big believers in internal health and improving the gut in order to improve the skin. If you're healthy on the inside, your outside will reflect that. Some internal things that cause issues with the skin are eating inflammatory foods, things like dairy that also mess with the hormones, eating a lot of foods that contain sugar and wheat, and also eating greasy foods. And how many teenagers do you know eat all of those things and eat them daily, multiple times on the daily. There are other things that can contribute to acne: sleep levels, stress levels, family history, things like that. But if you can control the things that you can control, like what you're consuming, that's a place to start. Now, you may have a teenager that is just not going to control their diet, and a way that you can help that, or at least try and tackle it, is starting them on a prebiotic or a probiotic. That will at least help try and balance things in the gut. Zinc is a great supplement as well, and as I always give as a disclaimer in any of my videos where I recommend supplementation, always check with your doctor first. You just really never know what cards you're going to be dealt, but no matter what, taking care of the skin is really important. So if you have girls, something to make sure that they focus on is making sure that they clean their makeup brushes very thoroughly and their tools. It's really important, and that can contribute to major breakouts. It happens to me even if I neglect my makeup brushes, and I am not a teenager. So that is a place to start for sure. Another option for teens that get oily is to have them carry oil blotting sheets with them during the day, just to dab the oil off so it doesn't build up on the skin and they don't have that issue of getting blocked pores quite as easily. So now that we've covered the whys and kind of the do's and don'ts and what to eliminate, all the general things, we're going to go through the categories and the routines and products and all that good stuff. So the first category we're going to cover is cleansing, and we're going to talk about what to do if your teen has problematic skin, what to do if they just have nice skin and you just want to keep that going and go with a simpler routine, and I'm going to give you some tips at the end. So I'm going to structure each section in that manner. No matter whether your teenager showers at night or in the morning, make sure to tell your teen to wait to wash their face until the last step of their shower, just to be sure that it rinses off any extra conditioner or shampoo or anything that might have dribbled down onto their face. And be sure that they get all by the hairline, the neck, the ears, that whole area, because those areas are also prone to breakouts. So in the morning, you want your teen to start with a cleanser that is appropriate for their skin type. And if your teen is having issues with breakouts, that is where Panoxyl comes in. So they have a Panoxyl 4% acne creamy wash and a 10% acne foaming wash. Panoxyl is the #1 acne therapy in the US, and this is based on 52-week 2019 IRI data. So it's very recent. The reviews on these products are great. If you look on different websites, I'm really excited to actually be talking about these, because when it comes to teen skincare and needing something that's actually going to work, they do give 2 really great options here. Both of these products work to break the acne cycle by killing the bacteria that causes the spots to form in the first place. So these are benzoyl peroxide based, and because you use benzoyl peroxide with these cleansers in a short contact therapy manner, meaning that you apply it to wash your face and then rinse it off, it's a really great approach because it has less of a chance to bleach your clothing or your towels or things like that the way it would if you put a benzoyl peroxide product on your face and left it on overnight. It's also a lot more gentle on the skin to use it in this manner as well. Both of these cleansers are going to help kill the bacteria that causes that acne cycle, and they help clear existing acne blemishes and prevent new blemishes from forming. And they'll clean and unclog pores on the face, chest, and back. So the difference in these two, the 4% acne creamy wash contains 4% benzoyl peroxide. If you have more sensitive skin, this is going to be the one you're going to want to reach for. This is going to help exfoliate those dead skin cells. It has some humectants and exfoliants in it that are also going to help hydrate the skin. The Panoxyl 10% acne foaming wash is the maximum strength that you can get. So if you have pretty strong breakouts and if you don't have sensitive skin, this is the one that I would use. And so the best way to use both of these without getting irritated or dry, because they are benzoyl peroxide based, is to increase slowly. You can try it a couple times a week and then increase the usage to 3 or 4 days a week if you've tried that and it works after a couple of weeks. And then you can eventually work up to using it every day if your skin tolerates that. That's kind of how I tell anyone to ease into anything that has any kind of an active ingredient that can make your skin a little bit more sensitive or dry. So with either of these cleansers, you're just going to wet your skin and you're going to apply the face wash and massage it in for 1 to 2 minutes and then rinse it thoroughly and pat dry. There is nothing super complicated or anything like that. They're very easy to use. You can use them daily, morning and night if they work for you that way. So either one of the Panoxyl acne washes are going to be great options if your teen is dealing with some skin issues. However, your teen may have great skin and not have to be dealing with any kind of acne cleansers or anything like that. In that case, I would suggest definitely starting simple and staying simple. Using something very simple like Neutrogena Hydroboost oil-free cleanser, that is a great option. I have actually used that myself and I think it's wonderful. It's not stripping. It works great for all skin types. CeraVe makes a great cleanser and I'll have some more listed down below just like I will for every single category. Now at night, if your child is wearing makeup, and even if they're not, even if they are just walking around getting the day's dirt on them, double cleansing is a great option. I didn't know about this when I was a teenager and I really wish I did because it really removes any makeup residue, dirt, or dead skin that's on your skin from the day. And it may seem counterintuitive to use oil on oily skin, but oil attracts oil. So if you use an oil cleanser before you go in with your regular cleanser, you're actually really going to get a good thorough cleanse before you go to bed that's not going to strip your skin. One oil cleanser that I absolutely love for deep cleansing is DHC's Deep Cleansing Oil. I think it's great. It's pretty much perfect. And they could also use a balm like Clinique Take the Day Off Balm if they're wanting to remove their makeup, but something to get the makeup off, the dirt, the debris, the oil, all the junk from the day before they go in with their regular cleanser. It's a double cleansing process. So that is the cleansing step, no matter if your skin is already experiencing issues or if it is perfectly clear. Now we're going to move on to toning, which is an optional step. Some people think it's not necessary, other people swear by it. And now for me, it depends on what kind of toner we're talking about here, and I'm going to get into that. Toning can help rebalance the pH levels of the skin if you use the right toner, which in turn can help manage the oil production in the skin. It can help tone and tighten your pores so that they're less likely to become blocked. And it can also help remove any lingering makeup residue that you may have missed. But the bad side of toners is that they can be kind of drying for dry skin types. So if you have dry skin, I probably wouldn't use a toner unless it's a hydrating toner specifically. And you definitely want to steer clear of toners that don't say that they're alcohol free or that do have the bad forms of alcohol in them. And you can use a toner AM and PM. So I'm going to list some toners in the description box, but one toner that stands out to me that is just a good basic toner is Neutrogena alcohol-free toner. It is nice, it's basic, it's alcohol-free. Kiehl's makes a few alcohol-free toners. Their cucumber and calendula toners stand out to me as well. And if you want something that is really portable, Milk Makeup makes a toner stick, which is kind of nice for girls on the go, and it's kind of trendy too. Brooke has one that she keeps with her. She dances a lot and she likes to have the Milk Makeup products because they're in a little set and she can just take them wherever she goes. So that's just a little side note for, you know, if you have a teenager that just wants things that they can throw in a bag and not have to really have be messy, that's an option. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about moisturizing, because if your teenager doesn't have any problems with their skin, if their skin is fine, they may only need to cleanse, moisturize, and apply an SPF, or, you know, cleanse, tone, moisturize, and SPF. And that's it, and they're good to go. So I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about these 4 steps first, then we can talk about the other things and the treatments and things like that. Moisturization is really important even if your teen has oily skin. If you don't hydrate oily skin, your skin could produce more oil to overcompensate for the fact that there's not enough moisture in the skin. So the best choice for a moisturizer for a teen is one that is kind of lightweight and that replenishes moisture but without being heavy. A gel moisturizer is a really great choice for a teen because they're lightweight, they're water light in texture, and they contain the lowest amount of oils, waxes and emulsifiers, but a lot of them are hydrating enough. And also be sure that you look for labels like non-comedogenic, non-acnegenic, because that means the product won't clog pores or cause breakouts. A great drugstore moisturizer that I am in love with, and I know some teens are in love with because I've talked to them about it, is the Neutrogena Hydrogel Moisturizing Gel Cream. I think it's called gel cream or cream gel. It's a great product no matter what your skin type. I think it says extra dry skin on it, but it is not just made for extra dry skin. Vanicream Lite lotion is a really light lotion that a lot of dermatologists recommend. Actually, I would say most dermatologists recommend as a choice for a non-clogging, very basic moisturizer. And I'll definitely have some more listed down below. Moving on to SPF. This is such an important step that so many teenagers do not do. I didn't do it, and I know a lot of you didn't do it because we talk about how we're paying for it all the time. We're trying to lighten sunspots, we're trying to even our skin tone and all that stuff because we didn't apply SPF sunscreen when we were younger. Now, I will say this for everyone, whether you're a teenager or not, but mineral sunscreen is going to be the best because it doesn't get absorbed into the body. And especially if you're a teenager and you're having to worry about clogged pores, a lot of the chemical sunscreens can cause breakouts. A lot of them. Yes, you want to use SPF to protect yourself from the sun, but if you have an existing breakout and it gets exposed to the sun, it can leave hyperpigmentation and it can scar. 90% of how your skin ages is directly related to sun exposure. And I know how you age is not of primary concern when you're a teenager, but if you get into the ritual of wearing SPF when you are younger, you are going to be loving how you look when you turn 30 and 40. And, you know, like I said, I know it's going to be hard to think about that when you're a teenager, but if you can emphasize that to your teen now, they will thank you when they get older, I promise. I'm going to link a few options down below. I'm going to link my personal favorite, which is by Paula's Choice. That's my personal favorite daily sunscreen. My favorite facial water sunscreen is by Cotz. It's actually their facial primer. A handy product for anyone to have, but especially a teenager, if they're running around and might just want to reapply sunscreen, is this Brush On sunscreen by Colorescience. You literally just dust this on your face and you can't even see that it's brushed on. It's so light, it's invisible, but it actually works. It has kept me from burning many times, and they make it in SPF 30 and SPF 50. Elta MD, Supergoop, there's just so many good brands. The Inky List makes a zinc sunscreen also, and it is important to make sure that whatever sunscreen that your teenager gets is cosmetically elegant, because if it's not, they're going to be so turned off from wearing sunscreen. So you don't want to just give them just any old sunscreen and just make them massage it in every day and then have them walking around looking like a ghost. You want to make sure that it actually works well for them, it blends into the skin, and that it does work well under makeup if your teenager is wearing makeup. Okay, so we have covered the steps for a teenager who has good skin and just wants to keep their skin looking good and they're not seeing any problems. Cleansing, toning, which is optional, moisturizing, and SPF. That's really all they need to keep their skin looking healthy and supple, because teenage skin is healthy. It is supple, it's bouncy and elastic and beautiful and even toned. So just keep that going. Use the gentle cleansers, use the oil-free products. These things that we're going to talk about here are optional, and the reason why I'm mentioning them is because having a teenage girl, I know they're going to want to do these things. Brooke wants to exfoliate. She wants to use masks. And so we're just going to talk about that a little bit. And we're also going to talk about acne treatments when or if it gets to that point for your teenager. Teenage skin does a great job of exfoliating itself if it's taken care of properly. Sometimes it could use a little extra help, maybe once or twice a week. Your teenager might want to go in and actually do some exfoliation. You just want to make sure that they're not overdoing it, because that can actually cause more harm than good and strip the skin, and we don't want that. But because of the hormonal changes that are occurring and causing these blocked pores, it can be a good thing when done very sparingly. And sometimes exfoliating can actually help dry skin retain moisture more easily, and it can help balance and clear oily, acne-prone skin. If someone has sensitive skin, I would tell them not to exfoliate or find one that is just super, super gentle. The chemical exfoliators are kind of like the lotions that sit on the skin, and physical exfoliators are the ones that you actually scrub onto your face. So chemical exfoliators that have AHAs and salicylic acid can be really great because they get really deep into the pores and they can penetrate more deeply than physical exfoliators. So I'm going to mention a few here, and these are all very individual. If you find one and you feel like it doesn't work for you, you can try another. Sometimes exfoliators can just be a little harsh, but there are a few that I think are really great options. Charcoal is a great product for teens because it detoxifies and it purifies. Biore has a charcoal pore minimizer, and it's a really great option. They also have a baking soda scrub that is super, super gentle. I keep that in my shower. I think it's a wonderful product, and I have very sensitive skin. The Nip Fab Pads are really great, and their portable milk makeup has a stick that is an exfoliant, and Pixie Glow Tonic, that is a popular glycolic exfoliant that comes in liquid as well as pad form that a lot of people love, and I'll have a couple of other options in the description box. Masks can do great things for the skin, and if you find a great charcoal mask for your teen, it can just really be a game changer. Even if they have clear skin, it can make it more glowy, and if they are having some breakouts, it can really help calm the skin down. L'Oreal has some clay masks that are affordable, and they're really great. They have, I think, 6 masks in total that address different skincare concerns. And they all contain different types of clay that help do different things for the skin. So those are great options to try. Origins makes some of my favorite masks if you want to go that route. And again, Milk Makeup, I think they have a mask stick now. I'm not sure. I'll have some options down below. A topical treatment is not going to be necessary for every teenager, obviously, because not every teenager is having skin issues, but it can really be a huge lifesaver, skin saver for those that are having concerns. So there's 2 types of treatments: daily treatments that are used to address issues and to prevent further issues, and spot treatments. You want to look for products that contain benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid, tea tree oil, witch hazel. All those ingredients will help lower inflammation and reduce bacteria on the skin. Patience is key. With any treatment, it can take 10 to 12 weeks to make a difference on the skin. Patience and consistency, those are struggles when it comes to teenagers. And I think that that is something, if you can reinforce that with your teen over and over and over again, I know that's a struggle, but I know that's hard, and I know they don't want to hear it, but making sure that they stick with applying these treatments to their face every day, and letting them know that sometimes with certain treatments, things do get worse off and on in cycles before they get better. It can really help. So a treatment used daily all over the face oftentimes is a lot more gentle than using a harsher, stronger spot treatment. You just want to be slow and steady when you're really treating an acne breakout. You don't want to just throw the book at it and be overly aggressive and really irritate the skin. Some people will go with some of the systems and try those treatments that are just geared towards teenage acne. And there is different that is over the counter now. I know with that there is some purging off and on, and then around week 12, it really, really works, but it does take 12 weeks to work. And then of course there's prescription treatments, Retin A, and some other treatments that a dermatologist can prescribe. You might just want to have a spot treatment on hand just in case something comes up, because even a teenager with clear skin could wake up and have an issue one day. There are several spot treatments out there that are actually really good to have on hand. Mario Badescu drying lotion, Origins has a spot treatment. There's a lot of them out there. I'll have them listed down below. You just want to remind them not to pick at the spots that they have. That's also difficult, but that can also increase scarring. So if your teenager is one that does have some acne issues, they are basically going to follow the same steps as a teenager that doesn't. They're just going to add in possibly an all-over treatment every day, or, you know, maybe a mask or something once or twice a week, an exfoliant, which is also an option for a teenager who has clear skin. Teenage skincare is actually pretty simple. You just don't want it to get overly irritated. And I think that is a large reason why so many people have issues when they're trying to treat teenage skin. They just try to throw everything at it, and they try it for maybe a week or two and it doesn't work, and then they move on to something else. You really have to be consistent with what you try for several weeks to see if it works. And if you've tried all of these things and you've been diligent about sticking to a skincare routine and your teenager is still having problems, it is time to see a professional. You can start with an esthetician if you'd like, but if the acne is severe or if it's cystic, it is probably best to see a dermatologist, and there are some other routes that can be taken. My son is one that did have to go that route. He did have to do a round of Accutane, and it worked beautifully for him. Beautifully, but nothing else worked. So sometimes you can do everything under the sun correctly, and it's just not going to address the problem because it's just too deep to be addressed. But that's why I say to try all of these things, because there are some people who were about to go on Accutane and decided to eliminate things from their diet and ended up not having to go on Accutane at all. So I do encourage you to look at everything from every angle for your teenager or yourself if you're having issues as well. That's what I personally did. And just remember what it was like to be a teenager and be self-conscious and be frustrated and want to do 1,000 things and not have to worry about your skin. No teenager wants to worry about skincare, but it is important to let them know that in order to get rid of things, they have to actually do these things. And that is half the battle, is getting them to do it. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that the products list down below help you out as well. Let me know if you would like to see this in blog post form. I do update my blog, and I may do a teen skincare series or something on there. So let me know that in the comments below. If you have questions, feel free to ask. If you're not subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you here as part of the family. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.